What makes an experience an experience? When race days become race weekends, and race weekends become full-throttle memories.
To the checker, baby! Yeah, let's go!
So pull up in your camper, pick your favorite spot, first race or 50th season.
You did just win again. Oh my God!
A community that lives loud, loves hard, and celebrates every damn second.
Roll Tide and welcome to this Thursday edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. This is Roger Hoover, going to be with you from our studio in Tuscaloosa as we get ready for our weekend coming up here. Sewell Thomas Stadium, Alabama baseball continuing its season with the Super Regional this weekend. We'll take a look at what's coming up on the show, plus our headlines thanks to our friends RJ Young. RJ Young is the official technology solutions provider of Crimson Drive. Here's what's on the show this afternoon. It's all baseball. We're talking first with the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Rob Vaughn, talking about what went right in the regional and what we can expect in the Super Regional. Then we'll have a radio replay of our 11th inning as we'll take you inside the broadcast booth for the heroics by Brady Neal at the top of the inning, and then Hagan Banks on the mound in the bottom of the inning. I think you'll enjoy that radio replay from this past Sunday night. Looking at our headlines, Crimson Tide baseball sweeping that regional with the wins against Alabama State, USC Upstate, and then Oklahoma State in dramatic style 9-7 on Sunday night. One of the best games we've ever seen in the Rob Vaughn era, and of course at the renovated Sewell Thomas Stadium. It was unlike anything else. Now this weekend, Super Regionals. Crimson Tide in a Super Regional for the first time since 2023, and for the first time in 20 years going back to 2006, Alabama is at home for a Super Regional as the Crimson Tide will host St. John's. St. John's from the Big East had a huge upset over the weekend by defeating Florida State not once but twice in the Tallahassee Super Regional. So it's St. John's and Alabama with a berth in Omaha on the line. Mentioned it's been 20 years since Alabama had a home Super Regional. You have to go all the way back to 1999 for the last time that Alabama won a home Super Regional and made it to the College World Series. The College World Series berth only 2 wins away from the Crimson Tide if they can take care of business coming up this weekend. Other notes around Crimson Tide athletics. Unfortunately, Monday was a tough day for the Crimson Tide softball team, falling twice in the Women's College World Series, so coming up just shy of reaching that championship series. But tip of the cap, Patrick Murphy, all of Team 30. What a run it was for Alabama softball, and with so many young players on this roster, get the feeling just more is to come. Both great success in the SEC and on the national stage as well. So even though it's a disappointing finish, a lot to be proud of for Alabama softball. You can say the same about William Jennings from the men's golf team, as he was a runner-up at the NCAA championships, the first runner-up that Alabama's had since Jerry Pate back in the 1970s. But William was tied for the lead going into the final hole, unfortunately made a bogey on that final hole and ends up as the runner-up. But what a run he had, especially some of the birdies he had on the back nine to even be in contention to even have a shot at the national championship. Great things ahead for freshman William Jennings. Also, congratulations to Rashinda Reed, named to the NEC Hall of Fame, taking a look at some of her great accomplishments from earlier in her standout playing career. And then Keldon Peak has just been announced as the women's basketball strength and conditioning coach, as Pauline Love has really started to round out her staff. Already some practices underway for the women's basketball team in Tuscaloosa. That's a look at our headlines thanks to our friends RJ Young. And now we talk to the head coach of the Crimson Tide baseball team, Rob Vaughn. He joined us last week to preview the regional. Now it's time to preview the Super Regional as Alabama looks to continue its run here in 2026. We mentioned last week, if Alabama keeps winning, we'll keep doing these interviews. And Coach, your group, an amazing weekend in the Tuscaloosa Regional. What impressed you the most about Alabama over the 3 games we saw last weekend?
I think they were super present in each game. That's one thing I really challenged them for. You look at the 3 teams you're playing, we end up beating every team in the regional. So we end up playing all 3 of them, which is not normal. Normally you're kind of catching somebody a second time or whatever. But man, I thought we were really mature against Alabama State, and I think we gave them the respect they deserved. And I think they came in on a heater and earned the right to get our best. And I think they got our best on Friday night and kind of set the tone for the weekend. We played a gritty USC Upstate team that's going to have some similarities to St. John's a little bit this weekend, but just a tough group, a well-coached group, a group that wasn't scared, a group that had a lot of belief. We were able to get a lead there and get it done. And then just, a game, very frankly, on Sunday that'll probably be one that if I coach for 25 more years, I ain't going to forget, and just a tough game, a team of both teams just emptying the tank. A great start by just kind of bookended, right? Great start by a freshman, and then you get the big homer by a senior, and just a fun game to be a part of. I told the umpire in about the eighth, I said, man, I don't know how this thing's going to end, but this is what college baseball is all about right here, you know? And so proud of the way we were present in each game. I didn't feel like we were putting the cart before the horse. I didn't think we got to that 2-0 game and got comfortable. Just proud of our maturity and the way we went about it. And man, I think that's what we're going to need this weekend, man. We're not going to be able to sit here and look past these guys or say, hey, little old St. John's, the 4 seeds here. If we do that, we'll be done in about 48 hours. So we got to do a good job of being mature in our work this week. I really like the place we're at. I was prepared to give our guys like a pretty lively, spirited speech yesterday after practice to make sure we weren't kind of booking our hotels in Omaha already, you know, and man, they've got kind of that crazy look in their eye, which is a great place to be. So we got to put a great week of work in because these guys are good, man. Like I was in bed last night watching video on them at midnight, and they're freaking good. So it's gonna take our best effort, and I think the boys are ready.
Yeah, let's stick with St. John's for a moment. Again, winners of the Tallahassee Regional, and maybe Alabama fans, even SEC fans, aren't too familiar with that brand of baseball and the style of play they have, the conference they're in. But for you and your background in the Northeast, you've seen them. You've even been there for ball games. So what can you tell us about the group that's coming in the other dugout?
Yeah, I know those guys really well. Head coach Mike Hampton, been there forever. Like was an assistant under legend Ed Blankmeyer for a lot of years. So we call him Bone. Bone is St. John's baseball now. That guy's been there for years and years. Pitching coach George is a good friend of mine. I've known him for a lot of years. I think they got a dude, man, that I think is kind of their X factor. John Valente, who's a young assistant coach. He played there. He's tough. He's mean. He's self-made. He's all of those things, man. He was a walk-on. They pulled him out of a dorm room. Corey Mascara, who used to work for me, was on the staff. They pulled him out of a dorm room, basically got him on the team. Dude, like set the record in hits, tough, all those things. And I think that team really plays with his edge, particularly position players. But I think number one, you don't go play baseball in Queens, New York if you're soft. I've said that 1,000 times. Like that place, you're not going there for the nightlife. You're not going there because it's some cool college town. You are going there if you're a tough, gritty dude from the city that wants to play baseball. And I think there's a lot of guys that have that personality. Their leadoff hitter's a junior college kid that flies, absolutely flies. Left-handed hitter, actually played for guys that are obviously pretty familiar with us. Played with Richie Bonamalo in junior college. So really good player. Their 3-hole or their 4-hole, their catcher, Adam Agresti, we recruited at Maryland. Tough kid, man. He's had a great career. Can really defend. Hit 19 homers this year. And man, like the beauty of them, I think if you're evaluating them as an opponent, they know exactly who they are and they're comfortable with it. They walked into Tallahassee and weren't scared. They were the 4 seed, little old St. John's from Queens, New York, rolling into kind of a blue blood in the ACC and in college baseball, and went and walked through that regional. They came from behind all 3 games. They were losing all 3 games they played in, came from behind to win all 3 of them. They're not going to go away kind of the way USC Upstate did. I think this team's going to have a lot of similarities to Upstate. Now their pitchers throw more strikes. Their pitchers have good stuff. They know who they are. They can pitch. Watching them last weekend, man, their misses are in the right spot. They're not missing middle. They're not missing back over the plate very often. It's going to be a steady mix. It's a team that's incredibly well coached, a team that's won 8 straight coming in here, that's playing with a lot of confidence. And they're in Tuscaloosa already. So those guys are going to be prepared for what we've got. And man, it's going to be a dogfight. I think everybody looks at it and it's, man, I've seen plenty of stuff where it's like, man, this is a golden opportunity. You got a 4 seed in here, and they're not wrong, but this is a damn good 4 seed, and we're going to have to make sure we show up and play our right brand of baseball, and make sure that we are the toughest team on the field this weekend.
Well, we talk about toughness a lot, and we really got to see it with both of your catchers getting dinged up during the course of that weekend. Peyton Steele dinged up trying to leg out an infield single that really Alabama had to have in the 11th inning. Just how are those guys trying to bounce back? We know John and Brady, you can't really take them off the field, but how healthy is this team going into this weekend?
Yeah, we'll be fine. Obviously being smart with John, like we said, he's got a fracture in his finger there, so he's not going through 50 rounds of BP every day. We're trying to kind of limit his swings while still keeping him ready. Brady's good. Brady hit. He's full go. He said, his thumb popped out on him, but he got it back in. He said it was a little sore, but didn't slow him down. Obviously, you saw it in the game, didn't slow him down. But even yesterday at practice, looked completely normal. Was throwing the ball great, taking great swings. So no limit there. And Steelers kind of day to day. We kind of took it easy with him yesterday. It's kind of his quad. I thought it was his hamstring. It's actually his quad, but he's in a spot to where it didn't pop on him. It wasn't anything that's like he has no chance to play. I think it's a little bit of a day to day thing. He hit yesterday, felt fine swinging. He'll hit again today. Being a Sunday or a Saturday start actually gives us an extra day, which is good. So we're not going to push him on the running side for another day or so and let that thing try to heal up as much as he can. But outside of that, man, healthy, ready to go. And I mean, everybody's dinged up this time of year. So you get your normal bumps and bruises, but you can't get up for this weekend, then you don't have a pulse. So, man, these guys will be ready to go.
Yeah, we've been interviewing on this show for 3 years, ever since you got the job at Alabama. We've seen that same backdrop behind you, one destination, Omaha. I mean, it's a motivating factor, I know, all throughout the year for your baseball team. But how about when you get to this point? Obviously, you're focused on one pitch, one moment at a time. But for Alabama to be 2 wins away from the College World Series and get to play these games at home with your fans in the building, how meaningful is that?
Yeah, I think it's validation in what we're building here, and I think it started way before we got here. And I think it feels good sometimes as a coach for them to talk about what we've done in 3 short years. But man, this thing started way before us. And I know things didn't end perfect with the last group. But man, they had some good players in here. The foundation of hard work, the foundation of good players, man, it was here. We just had to kind of take it and keep moving with it and kind of put our culture in place with it. So I'm excited for the fans. I'm excited for Tuscaloosa. I mean, I went to the softball regional back when Murph and them clinched it here a couple weeks ago, and man, it was electric. It was awesome, and that's because Tuscaloosa loves a winner, man. Like I go to that football game every Saturday, and that place is rocking because Tuscaloosa loves a winner, and so that's what we try to put in place here. I'm excited for our guys to get to experience it. I actually talked to a buddy of mine. He actually worked with me at Maryland. Corey Muscari is the head coach at Duke now. Me and him were talking last night, and he gave me a piece of advice that was just really good to hear, that I needed to hear. Because I think as a coach, so much we're focused on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And he's been to Omaha, went to Omaha with Wake Forest, and he said, Rob, he's like, Rob, man, like the one piece of advice I can give you, because I know how you're feeling right now, is stop and smell the roses, man. Like enjoy this. Look around on Saturday night at what's going on and the people here, and be present and enjoy it, because there's only 16 teams left playing right now, and Alabama's one of them. And so I want our guys to enjoy that. I want our fans to enjoy that. I want our fans and our players, man, we're going to respect our opponent just like we did last weekend, because this team is good. There's no secret. This team is good, and they're dangerous, and they're tough, and all those things. But man, like our guys kind of have that look, man. Like it's kind of like, coach, get out of my way, let me do my thing. When Bryce Fowler gets that look in his eye, you just move out of his way. When Justin LeBron and Will Platner and Jason Torres and John Lim and Brady Neal and Eric Hines, when those guys get that look in their eye, you just get out of their way and let them go do their thing. And so for me, it's a pretty cool thing. I can tell you, we ain't booking anything in Omaha. We're not looking ahead to that. We're looking at Saturday night against the Johnnies, and understanding that, man, you get yourself to this position, man, you got to be present. You got to make sure you are hooked in with what you're doing, because you don't get these every year. You have the injuries, you have struggle, you have whatever it is. All of our stuff has led us to the point we're at right now. And I think this team is prepared to go do something that hasn't been done since 1999. But we can't focus on that. We've got to focus on playing really clean, good baseball against a dangerous team on Saturday night.
Can't wait. The Joe is going to be rocking like we saw this weekend. Coach, just thank you for your time. Thank you for all the tickets you bought the students. So we look forward to seeing them out in full force, especially in right field. And again, we can't wait to hopefully keep this conversation going into next week. But thank you again. Roll Tide.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Roll Tide, Roger.
What makes an experience an experience? When race days become race weekends, and race weekends become full-throttle memories.
To the checker, baby! Yeah, let's go!
So pull up in your camper, pick your favorite spot. 51st race or 50th season.
You did just win again. Oh my God.
A community that lives loud, loves hard, and celebrates every damn second.
Our thanks to Coach Vaughn. Now we'll take you back to Sewell Thomas Stadium inside the broadcast booth for what was a dramatic game on Sunday night, Alabama against Oklahoma State. We'll take you to the top of the 11th inning. That's when the Crimson Tide and the Cowboys were still tied at 6, and let you enjoy this radio replay of the final moments of the Tuscaloosa Regional. Top of the 11th. Alabama, Oklahoma State tied at 6. A win, and the Crimson Tide move on to the Super Regionals. A loss, we'll play again tomorrow. Alabama and Oklahoma State in the, if necessary, Game 7. Winner take all to determine who moves on in this NCAA baseball tournament. Alabama and Oklahoma State in a 6-6 score. Luke Vaughn, Peyton Steele, Bryce Fowler all due to the plate. Now time to get comfortable against Pesca, who gave up a single to Eric Hines last inning once he came in with a runner at first and 2 gone in the 10th, but got the final out when Brendan Holt flied out to right field. Righty on righty, Luke Vaughn will be first to the plate. Quiet night for Luke in this one, 0 for 4. 2 Crimson Tide hitters who do not have a hit tonight. 10 hits as a team. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there for a strike from the menacing Mario Pesca. 94 on his fastball. The 0-1. Slider, check swing. Did he go? No, says first base umpire Clint Lawson. Six score, top of the 11th. Pesca rocks back, 1-1. Just missed for a ball. 94 on a pretty good located fastball from Pesca. Now it's 2-1. Two-one pitch. Slider is tapped foul just over our heads onto the roof of the Joe. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Luke Vaughn. Two and two. And the pitch. Tapped foul behind home. Winner of this regional will advance to take on the winner of the Tallahassee Regional. And tomorrow, it'll be a noon start between Florida State and St. John's. St. John's upsetting the Seminoles previously on Friday. Florida State coming out of the losers bracket to meet them tomorrow. 2-2. Swing, and that's cranked high and deep, but foul and not a play. Not a play down the left field line for Luke Vaughn. Rain really impacting the schedule for Florida State, who was able to win 7-4 over Northern Illinois in a 10-inning ball game earlier today at Dick Howser Stadium. 2-2 on Vaughn. Pitch by Pesca. Fastball low and outside. 3-2 to the Crimson Tide leadoff batter in the 11th. Alabama playing in extra innings for the first time this season. In a game that means so much. The berth and a super regional on the line. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball at 93, and Vaughn goes down swinging. Peyton Steele next to the plate, robbed of a base hit last time up with a sharp line drive to the third baseman that was caught with a high leaping grab by Avery Ortiz. First pitch. Steele takes the strike on a good fastball. Now the Cowboys this season 3-1 in extra inning games, including yesterday's thriller against Alabama State. Pesca was on the mound for those nervy moments in the 10th and the 11th yesterday. Now the 0-1. Fastball low, and the count evens to a ball and a strike. Peyton Steele trying to get on base for the man on deck, Bryce Fowler. Don't you know the Crimson Tide would love to see the man in the hole come up this inning as well, Justin LeBron. 6-6 score, top of the 11th. The 1-1. Slider is tapped foul onto the facade of the roof and then carrying down back to the field just behind the home plate umpire, Steve Mattingly, and the catcher for the Cowboys, Campbell Smithwick. Game where Alabama was up 5-4. Cowboys hit 2 home runs in the 7th to take the lead. Eric Hines ties the game with a solo homer in the 8th. 1-2. Slider low and outside, 2-2, and here we are, still tied after a scoreless 9th and 10th with plenty of dramatic moments, plenty of chances for both teams, for Alabama to either go in front or for Oklahoma State to go in front or walk off in the 9th. 2-2. Swing and a slow bouncing ball to the shortstop to his right. Fielding it, Thompson on to first, offline. Steele is safe. Steele a little gimpy getting past the first base bag in some discomfort as he will pick up an infield single. Go ahead, run aboard with 1 out for Alabama, top of the 11th. Steele really busted it up the first base line. As the throw was offline, Steele was already kind of holding on to his right leg, watching the replay of his run as he talks with Sean Stryker. Started holding on to his right hip even before he got to the first base bag. He talks things over with Rob Vaughn, the head coach, Sean Stryker, the athletic trainer. He's been far too busy this season. Also, Garrett Wood, national champion as a player with the Ole Miss Rebels, and the first base coach of the Tide watching on. And Steele is going to be done for the day, it looks like. Alabama will use a pinch runner. You'd imagine it will be Chase Kroberger. And it will be Kroberger. Slaps hands with Steele. Steele is done for the day, but man, he did his job tonight. With 2 base hits, including 1 here in the 11th. Kroberger's got tremendous speed. Now it's Bryce Fowler to the plate, 6-6 score. The freshman Chase Kroberger now standing at first base talking with Coach Wood. And it's Bryce Fowler to the plate. Kroberger from Morristown, New Jersey, outstanding freshman. Part of the future of this baseball program in the next few years. He's at first, 1 gone. First pitch to Fowler. Swung on and popped up high. Going into foul territory, first base side, first base coaching box under it, and making the catch Brigham for the out. 2 gone. It's up to Justin LeBron here in the 11th. Here is LeBron, doubled back in the 4th. 1 for 5 tonight. He homered the last 2 games. First pitch, low and outside, ball 1. Impacted yesterday's game against USC Upstate in so many ways. Kane Sweeney, the head coach of the Spartans, talked about that, saying it was one of the most impressive performances he's seen in college baseball. What LeBron did yesterday. Throw to first, runner back in time. It wasn't just that LeBron had a home run in the 6th inning. He also had an RBI single in the 4th, had a single in the 3rd last night, made tremendous plays at shortstop for Alabama on a night where Alabama could not play defense. 1-0. The pitch. Swing, and it's just cracked foul to Brady Neal in the on-deck circle. Ball and a strike between Pesca and LeBron. Tie game at 6, top of the 11th. Alabama trying to go in front and then get 3 outs in the bottom of the 11th to win this regional. The 1-1. Slider, swing and a miss. Huge cut by LeBron as he was out in front of the off speed. A ball and 2 strikes to LeBron. Dangerous hitters due up in the bottom of the 11th. Thompson, Ritchie, and Ortiz, 3 men that have already homered tonight. It's Pesca on the mound. LeBron down to his last strike. 1-2. Swing and a slow bouncing ball to shortstop. Charging into field, it is Thompson on to first. Justin LeBron's already there. Infield single for LeBron. Inning will continue. Kroberger at second, LeBron at first. Wouldn't you love to see another heroic moment this season from Brady Neal? He's due up next. Just saw another one from LeBron, his second hit tonight when Alabama had to have it here in the 11th. What speed for LeBron as he sprinted up that first base line. Kroberger, the go-ahead run at second. LeBron at first. 2 gone. 6-6 game, top of the 11th. Righty versus lefty. Pesca against Neal. First pitch. Hit found the netting. Strike number 1. The overshift will be on to the right side. Nobody around the shortstop position as Thompson plays up the middle. On the right side, 2 steps to that right side, and shallow right field is the second baseman Garrett Scholl, and then backing up first base is Brigham, the first baseman. Only the third baseman, Avery Ortiz, on the left side of the infield, playing off that bag, but still a third, closer to third base, and he is 2/3 close to second base. The 0-1. Fastball low, that nearly got to the backstop, if not for Smithwick bending low into his right and making that catch on the pitch. 1-1. 2 on with 2 gone. 6-6 score, top of the 11th. The pitch. Slider for a strike. Taken by Neal, lower outside corner. Now it's 1-2. Alabama once again down to its last strike, top of the 11th. 1-2. Swung on and driven. High, deep right field. Brady Neal has done it! A 3-run homer to the Rangers. 9-6 in the top of the 11th. Alabama. But Brady Neal. What a mob scene getting back in that dugout. What a scene in right field. 9-6 Alabama leads. Justin LeBron just slammed his helmet. They're punching the roof of the dugout. 9-6 Crimson Tide. One swing has changed it all. Not just the swing of Brady Neal. How about Peyton Steele? How about Justin LeBron legging out those infield singles? That kept this inning going. That kept hope alive. And now Alabama's in front. 3 runs, the advantage for the Tide. Only 3 more outs to get coming up in the bottom of the 11th to send this team to the Super Regionals. Here's Torres. First pitch on the way. Low and outside for a ball. Wow! Brady Neal, what a swing, what a bat flip as he watched that one go to his best friends in right field. 1-0. The pitch. Swung on and lifted high going into center. Waiting for it will be Ritchie. Inning over, but the inning. What a top of the 11th. A 3-run homer, Brady Neal. Alabama's 3 outs away from moving on in this NCAA tournament. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Three more outs to get for the University of Alabama, trying to move on to a Super Regional in this 2026 NCAA tournament. Top of the inning, Brady Neal with a 3-run homer just after we saw infield singles by Peyton Steele and Justin LeBron. LeBron especially keeping the game alive. Down to his final strike, getting that infield single that set up the heroics of Brady Neal. 3-run homer that absolutely sent this place to a frenzy. Especially when Neal got to his teammates. Everyone kind of punching each other. So fired up. Slamming helmets, knocking the top of the dugout, trying to completely remove that ceiling. Now it's time to focus, get 3 more outs, and this team can really party. Try and win this regional. First pitch is in there for a strike. It's 3 tough outs to get. Thompson, Ritchie, and Ortiz, all of them have homered tonight, including Thompson had a game-tying shot in the 7th, but those were solo shots hit by those 3 men. Right now, they're chasing 3 runs down to their final 3 outs. 0-1. Swing, and that's fouled away. Strike number 2. Hagen Banks, 2 scoreless innings, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. The 0-2. Fouled away. That'll stay. No balls and 2 strikes on Thompson. He's got 11 homers to his credit this season. The man on deck, Ritchie, has 31. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball at 91. Banks with another strikeout. 1 gone in the 11th. One gone for Ritchie. A home run in the 7th inning put the Cowboys in front. Short-lived lead after the homer in the 8th by Hines. First pitch. Swung on and softly popped up. Foul territory, first base side. Vaughn running but can't get to it as that'll drop in just next to the camera well down the first base side for a strike. Nine-6 Alabama leads in the bottom of the 11th. Brady Neal with go-ahead 3-run homer in the top of the 11th. Crimson Tide. What an opportunity to go 3-0 in this Tuscaloosa Regional and host a Super Regional next weekend. The 0-1. Swung on, a comebacker up the middle just past Banks, skips into center field, base hit. Hustling past second base is Ritchie as Fowler comes up with it, and Ritchie will think better of it as OSU needs base runners, and he will stick it first with a really seeing eye single. It just got past Banks, just got past LeBron, and Holtz up the middle. Banks nearly snared that line drive out of the air, but just got by him. Now it's Ortiz to the plate, the cleanup batter, had a solo home run off of Upchurch in the 6th. And then in the 9th inning, Ortiz with 2 outs got a base hit to help start a charge for Oklahoma State, but ultimately against Banks, they did not score in that 9th. Didn't score in the 10th. Banks trying to keep him off the scoreboard in the 11th. Pitch low for a ball. And it's 1-0 to Ortiz. One, another count. And the pitch. Lower part of the zone ruled a ball, and it's 2-0 to Ortiz. Three weeks in between appearances for Hagen Banks. He has looked sharp, though. The last 2 1/3, scoreless fashion with 5 strikeouts. 2-0. Pings the lower inside corner for a strike on a fastball. Now it's 2-1. Two-one. Fastball, strike again. Inner half from Banks, 2-2. Fans standing up once again at the Joe. Alabama trying to get the second out, leading 9-6, bottom of the 11th against Oklahoma State. Pitch. Swing and a fly ball going high and deep to right field. Kroberger back on the track. He's got it. Spins and throws back to the infield. That keeps Ritchie at first. 2 gone. Bottom of the 11th. Alabama up by 3. Campbell Smithwick's walk-up music is Dixieland Delight. You get your walk-up music played in the NCAA tournament, but all he's doing is firing up everybody in crimson. He had 2 homers earlier today against USC Upstate. Now he's at the plate against Hagen Banks. Alabama an out away from a super regional. First pitch. Inside corner strike. Fastball at 91. 9-6 Alabama leads. Banks escaping a bases-loaded jam in the 9th. A scoreless 10th. And then Alabama comes through top of the 11th with 3 runs off the bat of Brady Neal with his homer to right field. The 0-1. Low and outside, and taking second base will be Ritchie on indifference from the Crimson Tide. 9-6 Alabama leading, bottom of the 11th inning, needing just 1 more out. Now look at second. The 1-1. Runner goes. Pitch swung on and tap foul. First base side, Alabama a strike away from ending this regional. Hagen Banks on the mound. 2 gone, bottom of the 11th. The 1-2. Low for a ball. Fastball in 90 will do it at 2 balls and 2 strikes with this upcoming pitch to Campbell Smithwick. Crowd starts to roar again at the Joe. 9-6 Alabama, bottom of the 11th. 2 gone. The 2-2. Swing and a line drive, foul down the right field line just by a matter of feet as it bounces around before Kroberger plays it as if it was live and discards the baseball to the right field Ragers. Alabama's got 1 more strike, 1 more out to get before the Ragers can be saluted with a victory lap. 9-6 Crimson Tide, bottom of the 11th with 2 gone. Ritchie at second base. Count 2-2 on Campbell Smithwick of Oklahoma State. Hagen Banks. 2-2. High for a ball. A fastball at 90 miles per hour. Tying run does wait on deck in Colin Brigham. Still 1 more strike, 1 more out, and this regional is over. Bottom of the 11th, Alabama 9, Oklahoma State 6. 2 gone, a runner at second. Hagen Banks, payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. Fastball high and away from the lefty batting Smithwick, and now Brigham into the plate. Alabama elected not to pitch to him in the 9th to load the bases with 2 gone, focusing instead on the man waiting on deck, Garrett Scholl. 9-6 Alabama leads. Brigham tying run at the plate. Brady Neal stepping in front of home plate. Jason Jackson's going to come out as well. We'll see what Alabama wants to do as Brigham drew the intentional walk last time up. That low to the bases. Coach Jason Jackson led Alabama to a regional victory 3 years ago, 2023, when he served as the interim head coach. Guided Alabama back to its first super regional in 13 years. Alabama eventually got swept by Wake Forest in the Winston-Salem Super Regional. Prior to the 2023 regional win, it was an Atlanta regional victory in 2010 for the Crimson Tide. Before the Crimson Tide fell to Clemson in that Super Regional, this group has a chance to make some serious history, and especially make history at home with a win tonight. Sam Mitchell and Evan Steckmesser are warming up. Both have been warming up at different times tonight for the Crimson Tide. Right now it's Hagen Banks staying on the mound, trying to get this final out and end this game in this regional. Bottom of the 11th, Alabama 9, Oklahoma State 6. Cowboys with 2 men on base and 2 gone, and it's Brigham at the plate. Lefty batter, pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Good fastball starting the at-bat with Hagen Banks. Already 5 strikeouts tonight compared to 2 walks. Trying to get 1 more and end it. A look at second. The 0-1. Low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. That final out, the hardest to get. Hagan has really embraced the challenge of closing out games. So good getting that final out against the Auburn Tigers, completing a sweep early in the season, showing how good this team could be. 9-6, bottom of the 11th. The pitch. Slider spins low and outside, 2-1. Again, somebody that will not shy away from a challenge, Hagan Banks, and he's trying to go the final 3 innings of this ball game and win it for Alabama, win this Tuscaloosa Regional on this late Sunday night. 2 on with 2 gone for Oklahoma State. A look at second, 2-1. Just missed inside. Fans can't believe it. Ball 3 is the call instead of strike 2. Brigham at the plate. If he walks, Scholl would be due him next as the winning run. 9-6 Alabama leads, bottom of the 11th. 2 gone, 2 on base. 3-1 pitch. Low and inside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks have loaded the bases for Oklahoma State. Coach Holliday will get a pinch runner at first base, taking out Brigham as first baseman. He will go with Wallace as a pinch runner instead. He is the tying run. Winning run at the plate right now is Garrett Scholl. That's the man Alabama elected to face instead of Brigham back in the 9th inning. Cowboys just 1 for 10 in this Tuscaloosa Regional with the bases loaded. The only exception was Brigham, a grand slam yesterday against Alabama State. Now Scholl coming to the plate. He struck out swinging against Hagan Banks back in the 9th to send this game to extras. That's when Oklahoma State had the bases loaded. Steve Mattingly and Clint Lawson, home plate first base umpire, talking things over. Not sure what they could be discussing, honestly, at this point. 9-6 Alabama leads, bottom of the 11th. Crimson Tide win in front, top of the inning on a 3-run homer by Brady Neal when he was down to his last strike. Well, the umpires back in their spots. Mattingly behind the plate puts his mask on. Here comes Scholl. Bases loaded. Ritchie at third. Smithwick at second. Tying run Wallace at first. Winning run Scholl at the plate. Righty versus lefty. Banks ready, and the first pitch. Slider for a strike. Lower outside corner. (9-6) Alabama in front, bottom of the 11th. Scholl 1 for 5 tonight. The 0-1. Swung on and fouled away. Once again, Alabama is a strike away from ending this regional and moving on. Bases loaded, 2 gone, bottom of the 11th. Hagan Banks. The 0-2. Fouled away. We'll do it again with a count, no balls, 2 strikes on Garrett Scholl. Alabama 9, Oklahoma State 6, bottom of the 11th. Bases loaded for the Cowboys with 2 gone. Hagan Banks in front, nothing in 2. The pitch. Fouled away. Tension continues to build as Banks throws more and more pitches, now at 61 in this outing against Oklahoma State. Alabama needing 1 more strike and 1 more out, leading 9-6, bottom of the 11th. For the Cowboys, bases loaded and 2 gone. Winning run at the plate, tying run at first. The 0-2. Fouled away again. 3 straight fouled away by Scholl. Crimson Tide fans standing all over Sewell Thomas Stadium, hoping to see the final out of this regional. 9-6, Crimson Tide leading, bottom of the 11th. 2 gone, bases loaded for Oklahoma State. Hagan Banks with the 0-2. Fouled away again, 4 straight fouled away. Could not have a more drama-filled regional final. If Oklahoma State wins, we'd have to play a winner-take-all Game 7 of the regional tomorrow. Alabama trying to end it right here. 9-6, Crimson Tide the advantage. Bottom of the 11th. 2 gone, bases loaded. 0-2. Swing and a line drive into right that'll fall in for a base hit. Cowboys will get 1 run as Richie crosses the plate on the RBI single by Scholl, and that makes it a 9-7 score in the bottom of the 11th. Bases remain loaded. Not only does Richie score, Smithwick takes third, Briggerman takes second. Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Welcome back to Sewell Thomas Stadium, just past 11 o'clock here in Tuscaloosa on this Sunday, May 31st, 2026. Alabama in front, 9-7, bottom of the 11th, but the base is loaded, 2 gone for Oklahoma State. First pitch, slider missing outside from Banks for ball 1. Remo Indomenico has already hit 3 home runs this regional at the plate for Oklahoma State. Tying run at second, winning run at first, 1-0. Slider, tapped foul, 1-1. Scholl, after fouling off 4 pitches, able to punch an RBI single into right field. Alabama win in front, top of the inning on Brady Neal's 3-run homer to right field. Now just trying to preserve this victory. Hagan Banks on the mound. Just allowed his first run of the night. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Good fastball, and once again, Alabama is a strike away. By now, you know the stakes. By now, you know what it means. Hagan Banks is ready. 1-2. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3! Alabama wins the regional. The road to Omaha continues in Tuscaloosa next week. Alabama's 2 wins away from reaching the promised land. The Crimson Tide dispatch Oklahoma State 9-7 in 11 innings. What a thrilling Sunday night at the Joe. Huge hug for the Director of Athletics, Greg Byrne. Along with this coaching staff, he'll salute the players in a moment. For the first time in 3 years, Alabama's going to a Super Regional, and for the first time in 20 years, the Super Regional will be played here in Sweet Home, Alabama. The players saluting the right field Ragers. What a home field advantage Alabama had over the last 3 nights. And that home field advantage will continue next week as the Crimson Tide. If Alabama can win 2 out of 3 against the winner of the Tallahassee Regional, Alabama's going to a place it hasn't been in 27 years, the College World Series. This Crimson Tide team, after saluting the right field Rangers, shaking hands with Oklahoma State, now all starting to congregate together in left field. We'll talk about a lot of heroes from this win tonight. Brady Neal, the go-ahead homer, top of the 11th. Game-tying homer in the 8th inning by Eric Hines. Brennan Holt, the RBI single that got it all going. 2-run single by John Lim back in the 3rd. And then how about the man that got it done at the end of the game for Alabama, Hagan Banks. Hadn't pitched in 3 weeks, but he goes the final 3 innings, throws 69 pitches, and makes sure that Alabama will play more baseball here in 2026 as he gets the win. Crimson Tide get the win, 9-7 the final score in 11 thrilling innings in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Step aside. Back with the Bama Baseball postgame show in a moment on a victorious Sunday night for Alabama baseball. Once again, the final score, Alabama 9, Oklahoma State 7. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. More fun ahead on the radio coming up this weekend as we take a look at our upcoming schedule. Well, we will be back with you on Saturday. 8 p.m. will be the first pitch for Alabama against St. John's to begin the regional. Our radio coverage with David Kindred in the booth. I won't be flying solo this weekend. Kindred will be with me starting at 7:45 all across the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Then it's Alabama against St. John's for what we know will be Game 2 on Sunday afternoon. Possibly a chance to punch Alabama's ticket to Omaha with wins on Saturday and Sunday. 1:45 will be our airtime then. And then we just hope to avoid that if necessary game on Monday, but the time would be announced based on how everything else is shaping up around Super Regionals in the NCAA. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms at UA_CTSN so you don't miss anything coming up from Alabama baseball this weekend. And that's going to wrap up this busy edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Huge thank you to our guest, Rob Vaughn, and thanks as well to all of you for watching. This is Roger Hoover saying get out to the Joe this weekend. I know tickets may be hard to come by, but if you're at the ballpark, be loud, support this baseball team trying to do something very historic, and who knows where we could have the show coming up for you next week. Maybe Omaha. We'll see. Alabama's only 2 wins away. Until then, have a great rest of your weekend. So long, everyone, and roll Tide.